Hello everyone, and welcome to Life with Aprons. I am in the kitchen today and I am whipping up a humongous batch of fire cider, and I would love for you to join me. I love fire cider. We rely on it in the winter months. Anytime there is sickness in our house, I am always giving out fire cider. It is a powerful tonic that uses it's just a natural remedy that I love to fight off sickness, and it works really well. It has worked time and time again for us. So we have used our whole batch up for the winter. We have a little bit left, so it's time for me to go ahead and replenish that, especially with the spring allergies upon us. So I am just going to show you a basic fire cider recipe today. And what I love about the fire cider recipe is that it can be tweaked. You can add extra of one item. You can add in extra ingredients. I'm just giving you a basic recipe to go on, and you can kind of experiment with what you would like to do. Now, this basic recipe, I'll put it in the description, but it has ginger root, horseradish root, onion, garlic cloves, jalapeno peppers, rosemary, cayenne powder, turmeric root, and then at the end we'll add some honey to taste. And that is the basic recipe I use. If you look online, you're gonna find a lot of different recipes, and that's okay. Some people put elderberries in theirs. Some people use lemons and oranges. I've done that before. Just make sure you use organic, because these items are all going in a concentrated liquid, the apple cider vinegar. And you just want to make sure that when you're getting that concentration, you're not getting the chemicals with it, because then that obviously defeats the natural remedy and trying to do something good for your body. Adding the chemicals in there is not going to help it. So just be careful with your ingredients and make sure that you try to use organic if at all possible, or grow it in your garden. I know that horseradish root and turmeric root are really hard to come by. I have found them at one grocery store in our area, and that is it. I don't know if you can order them online. I know that I do grow some horseradish root in my garden. The turmeric root I do not, and so that one was a little more challenging to find. But you're basically just going to chop up all your ingredients, and you're going to put them in jars. Like I said, I was making a large batch today, so I had 2 half-gallon jars to fill. And once you have chopped up all your ingredients and put them in the jars, we're going to add our final ingredient, which is the apple cider vinegar. And again, you want to make sure that's organic. Again, what I love is that you can double this recipe, you can triple this recipe, you can make it as strong as you like. You can omit something, you can add something. I know different people use different kinds of herbs. I have fresh rosemary in my garden, so I just grab a handful of sprigs and throw that into my jar as well. A lot of this stuff I don't even measure. In my opinion, the stronger the better, and so I just throw that stuff in there and then let it sit for a while. We're topping it off with that organic apple cider vinegar. You can also make your own apple cider vinegar from scraps. If you haven't seen my video on that yet, check that out. I've used several batches of fire cider with my own apple cider vinegar that I made. This particular batch I didn't have enough, so I had to go to the store. But check that out. It's really easy to make, and it's so good for you. I'm going to top this off with parchment paper and then my lid, because if you use these plastic lids, they tend to leak if you shake the jar. So you want to add some parchment paper over it and then screw that on, and it shouldn't leak. And then you want to put these in a dark place for at least a month's time. I don't have the measurements on the apple cider vinegar because all you're doing is filling it to the top, so you really don't need a measurement for that. I let mine sit for 2.5 months. I forgot about them. Every once in a while when I did the laundry, I would shake them in the cabinet and just get all that goodness flowing. But yeah, I let mine sit for 2.5 months. You need to let it sit for at least a month. It's not a problem because it just makes it even stronger, which really works to your advantage. So this was a stronger batch, which I actually prefer. And the only thing I have left to do is straining the apple cider vinegar, straining all the scraps out of it, and adding the honey. Really, the amount of honey is up to you because like my husband, he doesn't stomach things very well. He has a problem with the fire cider. It's just so strong that I add extra honey for his. I don't add as much honey for mine. So about half of our family likes it strong, and then half of our family needs like double the honey to get it down. So I just make a batch for each so that everybody can stomach the fire cider. And I make sure that I mash all of the scraps really well because I want to make sure I get all the juice out of there. Now, I have an excellent tip for those scraps that my friend shared with me. And you can take those scraps, you can throw it to the chickens, you can put it in the compost, whatever you like. But one of the things that my friend does is she takes the scraps and she dehydrates them and then whirls them in her Vitamix into a powder and puts them into capsules. And that is beneficial, I think, particularly for her husband because he just takes the capsules. So you're still getting the benefit of the fire cider, but it's a little easier for those who may not even be able to get the fire cider down. So I like that idea because there literally is no waste here and you are benefiting from the scraps and the actual fire cider. So if you want to try that, give that a try. I love fire cider because it really helps, like I said, in the winter months. The minute we feel something coming on, I begin giving out the fire cider, 1 teaspoon, 2 teaspoons. If, somebody is in the thick of sickness, maybe a tablespoon in the morning, tablespoon in the evening. And I have found that it really stops the sickness from happening. It is super powerful. We haven't gone to the doctor in, oh my goodness, so many years. I think the last time I saw a doctor was when I had my last baby, which was almost 6 years ago. And even before that, we haven't taken our kids to the doctor. I try to use natural remedies as much as possible. And so we've been able to heal in the home with just nature, with just what God gave us. I have several books on natural remedies, and I'll do a video on that, on the books that I have found to be super helpful and remedies that I have found to be helpful for sickness. So also a note on the honey, just make sure you use a good honey. Not all honeys are created equal at the grocery store, and surprisingly, even if it says honey, it can have fillers in it, which is crazy to me. But you need to be super careful. I always get my honey from a local man. I get local raw honey for everything that I use. So you just want to be aware that you're using the right honey. And then lastly, when it's time and you've got the right taste, it's time to put it in jars. I get these jars. I got them on Amazon. I'll put them in a link in the description, but they're amber jars and they keep the light out. And so it really helps. You can see it's ready. It's pretty powerful based on my facial expression. But in order to keep it powerful, these amber jars help keep the light out so that it doesn't weaken the fire cider. And also you want to make sure you store it in a dark place. Light is not your friend with the fire cider. So once I get these into the bottles and the bottles sealed up, I will put it in a dark place. And then the minute I hear a sniffle or a cough or anything, I will pull out that fire cider and I will begin giving it out to my family. I hope that you have enjoyed this video. If you have any questions about making fire cider, put them in the comments below and I will get back with you on it. Again, I'll put the fire cider recipe in the description and you can take it and just run with it and enjoy it. Thank you so much for watching.